Welcome people, it's Ken and this is Royale Arts, giving you art Yardman style. I'm back with another video and unfortunately in this one I have good news and bad news. So let me give you the bad news first. So I started this project a few months ago, somewhere around September 2024. And I know some of you might be saying, Ken, why you not finish drawing it? It's so long. But let me give you some context with the backstory. This is a personal project. So I decided to take my time with it. And in between, I've been working on some smaller portraits like this and this, Wakanda Forever, for an auction that I've been prepping for. It's a charity auction, so it's for a good cause, along with some other projects that I will tell you about in the coming months. Now, I designed this piece from a random moment of inspiration. I call it Oblivion because it's about diving off into that deep end, diving off into the parts of life that sometimes you don't know the outcome, and nothing ever really happens when you play it safe. You're just in a safe space. Sometimes in life, to achieve that goal or that dream, you need to just dive into the oblivion, dive into the unknown. So that's where I got this piece from. So I fired up my Photoshop and commenced with the designing process. Post designing process, I had to get paper. This was a whole nother debacle within itself. Let me give you a backstory within a backstory. So brace yourself. When I was in Jamaica, I used to just draw on any piece of paper that I could get my hands on. As long as it was white and blank, I drew on it. But I wanted to improve my drawings. I wanted to improve the quality of my pieces. That only meant that I needed to improve the paper. So I dove into the world of drawing paper and came across the term GSM. GSM stands for grams per square meter. This makes reference to the weight of the paper. Weight of paper, I was confused. But basically, it's the thickness and density of the paper. A regular letter size A4 paper is thin and light. Sometimes you can even see through it. That would register about less than 100 GSM. But the preferred drawing paper is between 200 to 300 GSM, and that's thicker and denser and better for graphite or even charcoal drawings. One other important thing to note is that for your recommended drawing paper, it's best to get acid-free paper. Acid-free paper is better for the longevity of your portraits. The acid in the paper is what causes it to rot and yellow quickly. Acid-free paper, you won't get this, so it is recommended to get acid-free paper for your drawings. Now that we've clarified that, fast forward now to my current situation. I'm not in Jamaica and I don't have access to the regular paper that I used. So I have to dive back into the world of drawing paper and find the best quality paper that I can get where I am. This brought me to Archers and Strathmore drawing paper. So I ran to Google and tried to find Strathmore's and Archers. But I could not find it in the size that I wanted. I like to draw large portraits. Check this for context. Yeah, I like to do it big. I do smaller portraits like the ones I'm doing for the auction in my sketchbook, but bigger, more inspirational pieces, I like to do them big. So I couldn't get it. I'm in Japan and I went to my local art store. They don't have it either. So I had to settle for Japanese washi paper. The specific paper I'm using now is Mizo Sunshine washi drawing paper. So if you know anywhere that I can get Archers or Strathmore drawing paper in Japan, please leave me a comment down below. Now that I purchased my paper and thinking that all paper is paper and I can draw on any side. I'm ready to go. Oh, how I was wrong about this. Personally, I like to use the smooth side of paper, but this paper has a smooth side and a rough side. For the first drawing, which is this one, I decided to challenge myself and use the rough side, and it turned out beautifully. Don't you agree? But now I decided to go back to what I'm used to for Oblivion and draw on the smooth side of the paper. This is where the first step in the destruction process began. The first step I always do to prepare my paper is to create a grid. The grid helps me to get proper proportions for all my drawings. I use a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch grid on the paper. So I use my mechanical pencil 2HB to very lightly draw my grid lines, thinking that, okay, this will be easy to erase without a trace, right? Wrong. The pencil etched the paper, leaving the line behind. I erased where I needed to erase the pencil, but there was still an indentation in the paper. I was dumbfounded. But I pressed on. I continued and said to myself, maybe the shadings and everything would cover all of that. And there was a large portion of dark graphite area on the drawing, so that would be covered up. No worries. So I use graphite powder to do my drawings, and anyone who uses graphite or charcoal powder will know that when you use that stuff, it got everywhere on the paper, and this was no different. But the worst part of it is that the graphite powder decided to deposit itself right into the etched areas of the paper. So I had to constantly be using my needle eraser to dab and remove the graphite powder, being very careful not to disturb my highlights and my midtones. This was a painstaking process, but I pushed through. After wrapping my head around the fact that I will have to be constantly going back and removing graphite powder from this piece, I found a rhythm. Yeah, and I kept going, and I was going through nice and easy until boom, disaster struck again. I was creating a petal, just lightly creating my midtones with my pencil and my needle eraser. I was dabbing with the eraser, shading with my pencil, dabbing with my eraser, and piece of the paper tore. It tore. The blood drained from my face. I just threw down the pencils, the brushes, everything, and I was just looking at it. I don't know what to do. This is the first time that this is happening to me. I've been using a needle eraser for a few years now, and this has never happened. Now I'm left with this situation. It's a small piece, but when I look at it, that's all my eyes focus on. And to me, it's ruined. This piece is ruined, but this is my dilemma. A part of me wants to just throw it away, do away with it, it's done, I can't fix it. But there's a part of me deep down that is saying, you can do it, you can fix it, this is not the end of the road. And to me, this is what embodies Oblivion. This is what it means. This is a part of the inspiration that drove me to do this piece. At times, you will have obstacles that make you feel like it can't get no worse than this. This is it. This is the end. But sometimes, that is just what you need to take yourself to the next level. And the good news that I have to share is that I have decided to push through with this piece and figure out a way how to turn this imperfection into something perfect. But I need your help. If you are aware of any way that I can fixed this or if you have experienced this before and you want to share, please do, because I don't know how to fix it. Every time I try to shade over it, it looks worse. I erase it, it still looks worse. I'm not sure what to do. So if you have any advice, please drop them in the comments down below. But from this, I've learned some important lessons. One, when choosing a drawing paper, do your research. Because if I did, I would have known that using this washi paper, the rough side, which is called vellum, is the better side to use for graphite. And this drawing proved that. But because I didn't do my research, I did not know that. But you live and you learn. The second lesson is that sometimes life throws you curveballs and you have to know how to navigate that road. This is a curveball in life and I've decided to push through. It's just what embodies oblivion, diving off into that deep end, not knowing what's going to happen or even how to navigate it. But you learn new skills and you grow and you become a better version of yourself for it. That's all I have for you today. I hope that you are encouraged and motivated to finish that drawing, start something new, or even just add this to your daily life. Things will happen and you have to push through because nothing defines your success but you. This is Royale Arts. See you on the next one. Bye.